Alright guys, you're welcome back to my channel. Okay, so if you're just joining us, you're welcome. My name is Stella. Alright, so today we're going to be drafting a half scale and a full scale block. Okay, so let's get to it. Okay, so the measurements we'll be working with are our shoulder, working with the shoulder of 16, a bust point of 10.5, bust round of 40, waist round of 36. Then the front half length, the half length for the front is 17. The back length is 15. Then the blouse hip, okay, so the blouse length is 23. Then the round at that point where the blouse is stopping, so the round, which you can also call the blouse hip, is 42. Okay, now these are the measurements we'll be working with. We'll be dividing the shoulder by 2, and that will give us 8. We'll be dividing the bust round by 4, and that will give us 10. Waist round by 4, that will give us 9. 36 over 4 is 9. And the blouse hip, or the round, we'll be dividing it by 4 as well. 42 over 4 will give us 10.5. Okay, now these are the measurements we'll be working with. So let's go right into the drafting process. So let's start. Now, I just took these marginal lines, so we're going to be working in this middle. Now, the first thing you're going to do is to divide your bust round. Now, my bust round is 40, and then 40 divided by 2 will give us 20. Now, you're going to go ahead and add 2 inches to that, okay? So that will give you 22. Remember, 40 divided by 2 is 20, and then you add 2 inches, so that's 22. Now we're going to divide this 22 into 2 here. So 22 divided by 2 is 11. Okay, so we're going to have 11 on one side and 11 on another side. So go ahead and mark 11. Now we're going to connect that with a straight line. Okay, so let's proceed. Now we're going to label, we'll call this our back. That's our center back. Let's call it our center back. Okay, so here's our center back, and here is our center front. Okay, so let's proceed. Okay, so the first thing we're going to do is to take our shoulder measurement. Now, the shoulder we're working with is 16. 16 over 2, that's 8. We'll mark that. Then, that's 8. We'll mark that. Then the neck width we're working with is 3. Now, to get your neck width, you're simply going to do your bust round divided by 12. Okay, now, but mine, 40 divided by 12, that's 3.3. But I want to work with the standard neck width is 3 inches. Okay, so we're going to be working with 3 inches neck width and 1 inch neck depth for the back. Okay, now we'll go ahead and connect that. Okay, now the next thing we're going to do for the back is to slope the shoulder. Now the standard for sloping the back shoulder is 1 inch. So at that shoulder point, you come down by 1 inch and you make a mark there. So we're going to go ahead and connect from the neck width 3 inches to the shoulder slope, like so. Okay, now let's get to the front. For the front, remember we're starting from here, this is our line. Now for the front, we're repeating the same thing. We're working with a shoulder, we're working with neck width 3 inches, a shoulder of 8. Then the neck depth for the front is also 3 inches. So for the front is 3 by 3, but for the back is 3 by 1. Now we'll go ahead and connect this. To slope the shoulder for the front, the standard is 1.5, okay? So this is the neck, you come down by 1.5 and you make a mark there, okay? Now you're going to connect to that 1.5 mark using your ruler. Let me try and be darkening the lines a bit so that we can see. Okay, now to get our chest line, you're going to do your bust round divided by 6 plus 1.5. We're working with a bust round of 40. 40 over 6 plus 1.5 will give you 8.16, but we're going to round that up to 8. So we're going to be making use of 8. Now we're starting from the back to mark, okay? So you place your tape like so from that shoulder slope of 1 inch and you make a dot at that 8 inches, okay? Now, because we need to have a straight line that will run to the front, you're going to simply take your tape back to this shoulder point here, okay? So you place your tape like so, and to that point, to the 1 inch that we just marked now, so that's 9 inches, okay? So we're going to go ahead and mark 9 inches across this block, like so. We'll place it here and mark our 9 inches. We'll place it here and mark our 9 inches like so, and then we'll go ahead and use our ruler to connect these points. Okay, so here we have it. This is our chest line. Okay, let's call it our chest line, CHL. Okay, now let's proceed. On the chest line, we're going to repeat our shoulder measurements. Remember, we're working with a shoulder of 16, and 16 over 2 is 8. So you place it on that same chest line and you mark your 8 inches. You do the same for the front. You place it and mark your 8 inches, okay? Now we're going to be connecting. You place your ruler like so, okay? But we're going to be connecting from the shoulder slope, okay? From here down this way. Now to do this, you can actually make use of a broken line, because end of the day we don't make use of this straight line. What we make use of is the curve, okay? So you can actually connect that with a broken line, which we're going to be doing at the back. Okay, now let's proceed. Let's take all our vertical measurements. Okay, now from our shoulder, from the shoulder, which is here, not the slope, we're starting from this main line. Okay, so from here for the front, let's take our bust point, and our bust point is 10.5. Our waist, that our half length for the front, is 17. Okay, so we'll repeat the same mark here so that we can get a straight line. Okay, 10.5 bust point and half length is 17. We'll go ahead and connect these lines. Okay, so let's label This is our bust point, BP, and this is our half length. Okay, now this is it for the front. Now for the back, our back half length is 15. Okay, so we'll go ahead and measure. See where I'm placing my tape. Okay, so my back half length is 15. Measure it here. You repeat the same measurement here. Don't measure from one side and try to rule a straight line. You may not get a proper straight line. Okay, so like I'm doing it like so. Now this is our back half length. Okay, so let's label. This is our back. Okay, and remember, this is our chest line for the back. Okay, so let's proceed with our measurements. Now the bust round we're working with is 40, and 40 divided by 4, that's 10. We'll place it, remember we're starting from this line, so we'll place it here, and I'll make a mark at my 10 inches. Okay, then the half at my half length, the waist round we're working with is 36, and 36 divided by 4, that's 9. Okay, so place it here and mark. Now we're going to be adding a dart of 1.5. Okay, so our dart allowance is 1.5. Then we're also adding that here. Okay, so I have my dart allowance here. We first took our waist round 36 over 4 is 9. Then I added 1.5 inches allowance for the dart. Okay, now we're going to be connecting these lines from my bust round to the waist, like so. Now this is my measurement. Okay, however yours comes out, just be rest assured that you're working with your accurate measurement. Okay, this is the shape of my body. Yes. Okay, so we'll proceed to the back. Now for the back, I like to first tighten, okay, before we go ahead and take our bust round. Okay, now for the back, we need to tighten. Now to tighten, it ranges between 0.5 to 1 inch to 1 inch. Now the essence of this tightening is to eliminate that bulge at the back when you fix your zip. Okay, so I'm going to be using 0.75 or 0.5. I'm going to be using 0.5 to tighten my back. Okay, so, and to know the extent of this tightening, I like to divide from this my neck depth to the chest line. I like to measure that line and divide it by 2. Okay, so what we have here is 8. So to divide 8 over 2, that's 4. Okay, so now this is the extent. I'll be connecting it from this 0.5 here to this 4 inch mark, like so. Okay, so now we have tightened the back. Okay, now on the chest line, our bust round is 40 over 4, that's 10. Now we are placing our 10 inches from here and not from here. If you measure here, you find out that what we've taken out is 0.25. Okay, we can place our tape there and measure. It's about 0.25. Okay, so to place your bust round, and we're going to place our tape from that slope and not from the center back, from the slope. Okay, like so, and then we take our 10 inches. Okay, so this is my 10 inches here. Now on the waist, my waist is 36 over 4, that's 9. I'm placing my waist from here, okay, and not from here, from here. So I'll place my tape here and I'll mark my 9 inches. Okay, now I'll be adding 1 inch that allowance for the back. Okay, I like to use 1 inch at the back, but you can use 1.5, but I like to use 1 inch for the back. Okay, so in total I have 10 inches. Now I'm going to be connecting from here to here, like so. So here we have it. Now let's go back to our armhole, the armhole curve. Okay, for the back, we're simply going to measure the entire line. What we have here is 8 inches, and then get the middle of it. What you're simply going to do is rest your tape on the chest line and collapse it, fold it into two. Let the tip of the tape touch the chest line, okay? And then you're just going to make a mark there. Now on this point at the middle, we're going to come in by 1/2 inch. Okay, now this will take care of your back bulge, to eliminate those excess fabric that puffs around your armhole at the back. Or you can go ahead and measure your back, your across back. But if you take if you draft your pattern this way and you're going by 0.5, end of the day your fabric, your outfit is going to have a perfect fit without any form of bulging anywhere. Okay, remember we just came in by 1/2 inch and we need to connect the line. Okay, so we're going like this. From the shoulder tip we connect to that 1/2 inch line we just came in with, like so. Then we'll finish it up. We're going to rest our curve to stop at this bust round divided by 4. So you place your curve like so. Okay, then we're connecting. Okay, all right, so this is our armhole line. Okay, now for the front, you're going to go up. Remember this is our chest line. Now for the front, we'll go up from the chest line by 3 inches. Okay, we'll go up by 3 inches there, and at that point we'll go in by 0.75. Now we're going to be connecting from the shoulder tip to the 0.75 mark, like so. Then we'll finish up with a curve. Now your curve placement is very important. Your curve placement is very important. Okay, now this is it. Our armhole is ready. Okay, so we'll proceed with the drafting of our darts. My bust span is 8 inches. I like to call it either bust span, okay, or princess. Okay, so my bust span is 8 inches. Now half of it is 4. I'll place it here from my starting point, and that's on my half length. I'll make a mark there. Then I'll come to my bust point line. Then I'll make a mark there as well. Then I'm going to connect this line with a straight line like so. Okay, so this is it. Now remember the allowance we took. We added 1.5 inches, that allowance. Now 1.5 inches divided by 2 is 0.75. So we're going to have 0.75 on this side and 0.75 on this side as well. This is 0.75 and this is 0.75 as well. Okay, so let's go ahead and connect it to this point, the bust point line. Okay, so this is our dart. Let me redraw the center line. Okay, now this is it for the front dart. Now for the back, remember we added only 1 inch dart allowance for our back. Okay, now my bust span also is 8 inches. Okay, so divided by 2 is 4. Now we're going to place it from this center line, okay, from this place and not from the back slope, from here. So place and we'll mark my 4 inches, okay, like so. Then I'll mark my 4 inches like so. But in drafting your back darts, we have to come down by 1 inch from the chest line. This is to avoid that sharp pointy effect when you're done drafting your dart. So I just came down by 1 inch from my chest line. Okay, now I'm going to rule a line. Okay, now remember we added only 1 inch as my dart allowance for the back, and 1 inch divided by 2, that's 0.5. So I'm taking 0.5 here and 0.5 here. I'm going to be connecting it to this point. Okay, so that's it for the back dart. Now let's introduce our bust dart. Remember that the front length is 17 and the back is 15. Okay, now the difference between the two is 2 inches. So what you're going to do is place your tape from this bust point line. Remember, this is our bust point line. Place your tape here and measure your 2 inches. Okay, so this is my 2 inches mark. Now we're going to be connecting that to this bust point. Okay, this is it, but you need to extend it out a bit. Okay, so we've marked our bust dart. Okay, so we've marked our bust dart. Okay, let me also darken that so that we can see properly. Here we have it. This is our bust dart, and that's it. This is it for the half scale block. So the almighty half scale block, this is it. Now let me tell us what we can use this half scale block to do. You can use this to draft your peplum top, and if you're doing a jumpsuit that has a half length, this is it. This is what you can make use of, just the way it is, like so. But let's proceed to let's extend this to a full scale block. Okay, but as far as a half scale block is concerned, this is it for a half scale block. Okay, you're welcome back. All right, so let's proceed to draft a full scale block. Now a full scale block, my blouse length, the full blouse length that I want to work with is 22. Now you're going to place your tape here and you measure your 22 inches. Okay, so this is my 22. Now remember that there is no allowance on this block. Okay, so I'm measuring my 22 across like so. Then I'll go ahead and connect that. Okay, so here we have it. This is our full blouse length. Okay, we can go ahead and label that. Now this is the blouse length for the front. Okay, this is the blouse length for the front. Now for the back, you remember that for the half length, our front length is 17. Our front half length is 17. Our back half length is 15. So we have a difference of 2. Okay, now when you're doing a full scale block, you're still going to minus that 2 inches. Okay, remember that what we have here now is 22 inches. Okay, so our full blouse length is 22 for the front. Now for the back, we're simply going to minus that 2 inches difference. Okay, so for the back, what we will have is 20. So from that 22 inches line, you come up by 2 inches. Okay, which is the difference between the front and the back. And then we'll connect that. Okay, so now notice I used my marker pen here. So this is my blouse length. So this is my blouse length for the front. Okay, now for the back, I like to label so that it will be very easy. Now for the back, this is also my blouse length. Okay, so this is the line I'm working with and not this one. Okay, so let's proceed. Now that we have our blouse length, we're going to extend our darts down. But before we do that, um remember I told us that my blouse hip, which is the round, the circumference where the blouse is stopping, for mine is 42. We will have to go ahead and measure yours. Now 42 divided by 4, that's 10.5. So I'll go ahead and place my tape. Okay, so I'll place my tape and measure my 10.5. Okay, so now for the round of the blouse hip, okay, I don't know if that makes sense, but for the circumference around where this blouse is stopping, which is at this point, okay, whatever your measurement is, after you divide, you need to add 0.5. Okay, I will explain to us why. Now for mine, my blouse hip, I like to call it blouse hip. Now my blouse hip round is 42. 42 divided by 4, that's 10. That's 10.5. But you need to add 0.5 allowance. Okay, so that will give us 11. Okay, now we had earlier measured, so my 11 is exactly at this line. Okay, this is my 11. Okay, now we'll go ahead and connect that. Remember, my blouse hip over 4 is 10.5. We added 0.5 allowance, so that's 11. The shape looks funny, but I mean, that's my body measurement anyway. So now we'll proceed for the back as well. We'll take, now for the back, we're starting from this our CB line. Okay, so place my tape like so and measure my 10.5, which is bust round blouse hip over 4, 10.5 plus the half-inch allowance, so it's also exactly at that line. Okay, this is my 11. Then I'm also connecting it from the back half length to the 11 inches. Okay, like so. So here we have it. Now we'll go ahead and mark our dart. My bust span is 8, half of it is 4. We're still going to mark our 4 inches like so. Okay, then we're still repeating the same here. This is my 4 inches for the back. Now let's extend this line. Now in extending, you need to come up from this, the full length, okay, by either 1.5 or 2 inches, but I'll come up by 1.5. So you come up by 1.5 and then you connect. This is to eliminate that sharp pointy effect, you know, that gives. So we're connecting from here to the 1.5 that we just came up with. Okay, now we're also connecting our darts. Okay, so this is it for the front. Now for the back, we have our mark. We're also coming up by 1.5 as well. So this is our 1.5. So we're also extending our line, and that's okay, to stop at that 1.5. Okay, now we'll go ahead and connect. Okay, and then we have it. Now we also need to extend our back tightening down here. Okay, so like so. Now you can come up by 2 inches. Okay, you come up by 2 inches from this, the length, and then we extend that. Now you notice that, let me first do it with pencil. You notice that if you do it to that 2 inches, this is the way it looks. It looks a bit um uneven. Okay, so best bet, I like to place my ruler here and just extend it to this hemline. Okay, so instead of coming up by 2 inches, just place your ruler like so and extend it to this line. Okay, it's not going to affect anything. Okay, so here we have it, ours. This is our full scale block. Okay, so all right guys, that's it. We're done altering it to a full scale block. Okay, now you can use this block to draft a blouse, anything you want to be a full blouse. Just make use of this to draft a blouse, and that's it. Okay, so in my next video we're going to be making use of this beautiful block to draft other things. Okay, all right, I'll see you guys. Bye.